Yes.
About that? Okay.
Yeah.
Mandel was the theater manager, St. John's Theater, Mr. Mandel, he and his father. I can't remember the men no more after that, but anyway, yeah.
Okay, and then you went to work teaching Arthur
The
Murray?
cashier.
Yeah, then you went to work for the dance studio?
Well, we saw an ad in the paper, November of 1945, I believe.
Well, I was gonna say 45.
And they advertised for a training class for people to learn to be
Maybe the
dance
last
instructors,
one.
and we applied, and of course we got on. We didn't get paid until we got, the job, but I stayed there till 1964. When I opened my own studio in El Centro in 57, I guess.
And that's where both of you met your husbands?
Bob, my husband, came in, your father, came in to take dancing lessons. And I guess,
54.
huh?
Nothing, I'm on
And he was dating somebody else?
Well, he was dating, we weren't allowed to date our students at all, and he was my student. I was teaching him to dance. So he started dating a lady that was in the reception room, a receptionist, I thought she was, by the name of Darlene. Well, I was going with somebody else at that time. Well, I broke off with him, and I think we were down at that dance studio or something. Would you call it the
Dance
nightclub?
studio or
No,
nightclub?
the nightclub.
Sherman's or Pacific Square?
No, the other one,
Pacific Square or Paris Inn?
Paris Inn. And I think Bob came down there, if I'm not mistaken, after one
Okay.
dance lesson that we had, and we started dating. So I went to Mr. Burnett, the manager, and I said, "Can I date Bob?" And he says, "Yes, you can date him, just don't marry him." Well, I think 9 months later we got married. And then 9 months later you were born. He was very handsome though, Jackie. He was a handsome guy.
And when did you meet your husband, Blanche?
Which one?
The first one.
Well, I worked at Arthur Murray's, and in 1949, he worked at Arthur Murray's in Oakland, California, and he came down as a training instructor to train the teachers, and we did fine. And then I was dating a man, which I dated several. There was no one in particular. And so anyway, we got together. We kind of liked each other. We danced together and everything. And then I was supposed to take a trip to Mexico City with his friend, and she backed out. So he said he'd go. So I said, well, we got to get married then. So we got married. So I could go to Mexico City on my honeymoon.
Oh, okay.
He was a good man. He passed away this year also. In January or February, and then Roy, died in
Now, when did you get your real estate license?
1945.
Your real
No.
estate?
1947, excuse me. I just got married.
So you were selling real estate and teaching dancing?
No, I didn't use it. Mother said, get your license, you're going to need it someday. So I got dancing. It was in 1954 that we opened, Roy and I opened a dance studio in Central California. And we did fine. It was a small town. We didn't make a lot of money, a lot of work. So anyway, after I said, well, you go to Oakland, that's where he's supposed to work, get a job, and we'll move up there. I'll stay here to sell the studio. Well, he went up there, but he went back to work at Arthur Murray's, and then he dated somebody or something. I went up there. So anyway, we got a divorce in 1959. And I sold the studio. And then I met Jack in 1964.
How'd you meet?
I was real seriously involved with another man. And Mace Rusher, my real good friend, she and her husband worked with Jack.
You can leave it.
And
Jackie,
they brought him
two
over
shoes
from
get
San
hurt.
Diego. And we just fell for one another.
Yeah.
We had 40
So
some
what
years.
kind of work did Jack do?
He
What kind of
was a
work?
mortician, but he had quit the mortuary where he was a mortician for 60-some years. But he was out of the job for a few months because he got tired of it and he went to sell cars, but he realized that wasn't a good way to make a living. That's what he was doing when he met me. So anyway, we got back in the mortuary business, took a job up at Belfort Mortuary where he managed, and he made good money there, and we retired from there. I worked there too.
And then trips you took a trip back to Michigan, you were saying, with
Well,
your
when
mother?
we retired in 1987, we bought a motorhome. And when we retired in 87, we traveled and lived there for 7 years. We went everywhere. And then we decided we were going to slow down, which we did.
What about your brother, Jack? What was the story with him? Tell a little bit about his
Now,
story.
he wasn't Daddy's son, so
He
tell
was
about
your,
that.
half-brother.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm telling you to tell her.
Tell me about your brother, Jack.
You don't want to tell him?
No, I don't know
Why
that
don't
much
you
about
why
it.
don't you tell Mom? You haven't been talking.
That's all right, let her.
Okay, I'll
Oh, yeah, tell me about Jack,
Oh,
since
I
we're good enough.
Mother lived in Michigan.
I don't know all the details.
And she fell in love with this railroad man, and they got married. And he lived in
Texas,
no,
Michigan, Minnesota.
maybe it was Texas. Somewhere out here in the
Oh, it
south-
was Texas, South.
South Texas.
Well,
Okay.
his name was Richard Davis.
Yeah, San Antonio or something.
Davis.
Davis, Richard
And
Davis.
so they moved there,
Yeah.
and then she got pregnant, and I don't know why. I don't really know what happened, but she decided to go leave him and go back to her mother in Michigan, where Jack was born, and then she got a divorce. And so then, when he was about 4, she went to Staten Island to visit a friend, a relative who was a friend of Daddy's family, and she met Daddy there. And then she went home, and then they went back or something. I can't remember that story exactly, but Daddy was engaged to another lady, but they ended up getting married right away, and they pitched the tent on Coney Island. That's where they lived for a week or two, till her mother had moved to Tampa, Florida, on Broad Street, and bought a house, and then Mother and Daddy packed up the tent and all their belongings and put it in a boxcar, and they went to Florida and lived on the lot next door to my Aunt Irene to start with. And then Daddy got this job at Stress Hatters in Dubart. Have I already told them?
I don't know about that. But
As
Jack,
a mechanic,
yeah.
as a mechanic.
Yeah,
he
but
rep- he
tell us
rep-
about Jack, your brother Jack.
Jack.
Oh! I thought we were talking about Daddy.
No, we're talking about Jack.
Oh, Jack, that's right, okay. So when they got married, she had Jack, of course, and he was with them the whole time. And they raised him. They moved to Riverview, Florida, and by that time, he was probably 18 or so. All the women were crazy about him.
He was a good-looking guy.
Oh, they all chased after him. Phyllis, the post office, there was a woman, her family owned the building, and she was crazy about him, and they dated quite a bit, and then somebody else, and then he and Clara dated. And I can remember he'd come down that street, Washington, whistling, coming home, and I could hear him coming.
He called
Singing
you
and
what?
whistling. Anyway, Clara got pregnant, they weren't married, and Faye was born.
Well, yeah, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Then Claire was from a very poor family, and they couldn't even raise their own, let alone another child, you know, so Mother said she would like to adopt the child, which she did. There was one time that Claire came up and took her and tried to get her back, but they didn't make it. Mother got her.
Also now, when Pearl came down to Florida to visit, they knew friends or something, so she came down to visit. So the next day, Jack asked Pearl if she wanted to go into Tampa, and Pearl says, on the motorcycle. And Pearl said, yeah, I'd love to go. Now this is what I've heard. And on their way into town, Jack asked Pearl, he says, what do you want to do? And she says, I don't care. And he says, you want to go get married? And she said, okay. So they went and got married.
That's like on the next day from the time they knew each other.
That's the story I've always heard.
Well, that's true.
They all,
Because I remember getting up as a child and I walked in his bedroom, this woman's in his bed. You know,
They were married.
they were married.
you didn't say why.
Well, I probably did, but they told me immediately it was his wife.
Pearl was good though, she really was.
Oh, she was a
She was
wonderful.
a beautiful woman.
She moved out after Jack went into the military.
She
Where was
lived
she?
with us for quite a while.
Did she go with you when you traveled out to San Diego to see him
We
off?
were already in San Diego when he
Well,
died.
Pearl didn't go with us
No.
to San Diego, no, but
Where was she? He joined the military, right?
yeah,
And then,
they started having a little problems, the two of them.
Well, not before they went out there.
And I don't know where she went when he joined the service. I
why
don't
did he
know.
join the
Her
service? Because of
family
the war?
lived in Jacksonville, Florida.
Uh-huh.
She was out there with us, but then she went back to her family. And then when he was gonna come home, she came out there. They lived in a trailer parked in the back of our yard.
Yeah,
The trailer we bought when you and I went to Florida. They lived
Uh-huh.
in that for quite a while. See, when he came back, he took us to Florida.
mm-hmm,
And anyway, they were very happy with each other. They loved each other very
I
much.
think so too.
Hmm.
But,
He always loved to ride motorcycles though, huh?
oh boy, Blanche and I wouldn't go with anybody that didn't have a motorcycle.
That's how he was killed. Came back from the war, been back one day and down at the train station in San Diego. He came out coming home, I think the second day he'd been home, and he turned the corner and a woman was coming here. She owned some restaurant down there and his head hit the corner of her windshield. He was in the Veterans Hospital in San Diego for maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 days before he died. He was unconscious the whole time.
Yeah.
He was only 31 years old.
Yeah. Such a shame.
Yeah.
And he's buried at Fort Rosecrans too.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Hmm.
So then, of course, Pearl had to go back. You know, she went back to Jacksonville.
Do you have any questions, Darlene?
Darlene said she
She's
got-
heard all this.
You gotta be
many-
kidding.
Darlene has heard this many,
We've all heard
many
it.
times.
No, but it's interesting.
It'll be interesting having it on.
I think
No,
she's
it's taped.
taping it,
On
Darlene.
tape, uh-huh.
No, I know, that's why I'm being quiet. I'm letting her do that.
Mhm.
I don't want to
Yeah,
interfere.
we had a good life though, Jackie. I must admit, we had a lot of, we were growing up and we had good families and,
Tell about some
Really?
of our trips. Tell about some of our trips to Michigan and so forth.
well, that was later. That wasn't when we were little.
You were always
Well,
traveling,
no.
even when you were little.
Huh?
You were always traveling somewhere, even when you were little.
Well, yeah, but after we learned to drive.
Uh-huh.
Well, now, first of all though, the night I was born, my brother Jack and Leslie went down to the river and caught an alligator.
Uh-huh.
Or got an alligator somehow, brought it up and put it in a carport that was the, can't think of the name. Anyway, tied
And
the,
Irene's,
Tied-
Patterson.
tied the alligator up or something, and from what I have heard, the alligator got loose. Now Blanche said one paw was broken, so I don't know. But
missing.
that was the night I was born.
Uh-huh.
And Jack named me.
Uh-huh.
Mother says you can name her.
Why did he say that?
I
Why'd you
don't
say
know. He just wanted to name me.
that? What did he used to call you?
Pee-wee.
What did he used to call it? Blanche?
Elsie Joyce.
What did he used to call you?
Bluch.
Blanche and Pee-wee. I had always Pee-wee, because I was probably always following him.
Yeah.
Tell Jackie about how he used to make change for you.
Oh, yeah.
What?
How he'd make
used to make
change.
change with you.
Change.
How he'd make change, you'd give him
When
a
you
dollar?
would give him some money and he would give you change.
And I can't remember now.
Well, like he had $1 and you had 30 cents.
Yeah, but that was the other way around. He
Yeah.
was- he-
You
he
had
was-
$1 and he had 30
Okay.
cents.
Yeah, I can't remember. He'd give me all these coins and I thought it was a lot of money instead of that one piece of paper. I can't remember how much it would be, but it would probably be half the price, but he'd give me pennies and nickels and dimes, you know. I remember that,
I tell you
but
what,
I didn't know that I wasn't aware of it.
coins, uh-huh.
Well, how did you get money? Where'd you get money from?
Probably, I don't know. Who knows?
Did you
Mother,
get
Daddy,
allowance?
I don't
somebody.
know either.
Did you have allowances? Did you have chores you had to do?
I don't remember. No. no.
You didn't have to work there at the house?
No, no, no.
Didn't,
No,
Probably a Christmas present or
Just-
birthday or something.
just skimming the homebrew.
that was your job?
No, we weren't making homebrew then. That was in Tampa.
Well, that's what I said.
No, in Tampa, there was nothing like that involved. But we're probably a
I don't
present.
ever remember needing money.
Yeah.
We had no place to spend it.
I know the Williamses used to like to come over and eat at Mother's house. Mother was a good cook.
Yeah.
And the Williamses that lived in that house,
Next door,
next to
yeah.
us and
Uh-huh.
so forth, they would come over because Mother was a good cook. She liked to cook.
Yeah.
And they'd come over and eat our
We
food.
always thought we liked their food. I remember going over there.
Yeah,
the
we
biscuit-
tried.
The biscuits she made, boy, Mrs. Williams made the best biscuits. Mother always had white bread. That was one thing.
Oh,
They
yeah.
liked the loaf of bread instead of the biscuits.
We liked the
Joyce and I
biscuits.
love the biscuits.
We'd go eat their biscuits and they'd eat our white bread.
Yeah, that was one thing they liked was the white bread.
Uh-huh.
Mother would use white bread with
They were good neighbors,
peanut
though.
butter and jelly.
Mhm. Well, if you ever had any messages to give to future generations, is there anything you'd ever want to give a message of any sort to anybody?
We're both talking
Forgive
at
and
once.
forget is one thing to remember, always.
Forgive and forget?
Doing to others as you'd have them do unto you.
Do unto others as you would have
There's
them
just
do
a
unto
few
you.
sayings that I think
Uh-huh.
of frequently when something comes up about that.
Talk about what your mother believed about faith and religion.
My mother what?
What she believed in faith, religion. What
Well,
religion was
She
Mother?
was raised at the Church of God. And then she got interested in this, what is it called? In Jacksonville.
Christian Scientist. Was it Christian Scientist?
No, that was Roy's mother.
Oh, okay.
Roy's
That's
mother.
right. That's right.
Spiritualism, it's a spiritualist type thing.
Uh-huh.
They predict.
Assemblies
certain
of
things.
God or something?
They could talk to the deceased people and tell you different things.
Oh.
There was a little church there on Church Street.
Yeah.
It was upstairs, I remember. There's a name for it, but anyway, she got involved in that, and it was religious. They prayed and they sang hymns, and
You remember any songs you used to sing as children?
No, I don't really.
Any of your mother's favorite songs she liked to sing?
I-
I know your dad liked to dance.
Oh, he
Oh,
loved to dance.
Daddy
He taught
loved
us
to
how to
dance.
dance. He'd take us down there on Riverview, down there on the, well, there was a couple dance floors on both sides of the main street.
I remember the one, the wooden floor. I mean, I don't remember the outdoor one.
You don't, well, he owned it, he ran it. He didn't own the building, but he ran the dance. And,
Did your mother dance too, or not?
not much. I don't remember seeing her dance.
Not much. I don't
I
remember.
really don't remember seeing her
Very little.
dance. So he
No.
must have danced before he got.
What kind of dancing did he like to do?
Ballroom dancing, foxtrot, waltz.
Well, of course, when he danced with me, I was like 5, 6 years old.
It was just
So
foxtrot
it-
waltz. It wasn't jitterbug or anything like that.
So mine was just 2 steps, 2 steps, 2 steps, and 2 steps, because I was only 6 years old, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, well, it's foxtrot. I
Just
don't
to
know
get
where
me
he,
around the floor.
I don't know where he got the dancing from.
Well, the whole family down there, I guess a lot of them like to
I don't
dance.
know.
Well, sounds like you had a good.
We had a wonderful childhood, though. We really do. We have real good memories of it.
Mhm.
Good place.
How old were you when you remember your dad starting to drink?
How old was
When your dad was drinking?
When he was drinking?
Drinking. Didn't you have some things with your dad drinking at some point? Didn't
Not
you tell me
anything
that?
that was out of the
Alcohol.
ordinary.
Yeah.
I mean, Daddy drank always, but I don't remember any bad drinking or
I
anything.
thought you told me, Mom, that your dad used to drink a lot.
There was a period of his life, yes, that he drank. When we first moved to San Diego, there was a period there that he really got drunk and Mother couldn't stand
Well,
it.
see, that was when I was almost gone.
Yeah, but I don't know why, but this
I don't
was
remember
like
that.
in,
Well, I just remember you
40.
telling me that it was because that's one of the reasons you were happy that he ended up with Bess, because Bess kept him from drinking.
Oh,
That's
that's later.
true.
Yeah, that
Well,
was
I know, but
later.
it's still, for me, it's still part of his history.
Yeah, that was after I was married.
That's true.
I just was curious.
Do you remember when your mom died?
Of course I do. Of course you do.
Can you tell us how what effect that had on you and the
Well,
experience of that?
It was in June, she was born.
You're kidding.
No, it was July. I was born in June.
I said mother died after she was born.
Well, go ahead, you go ahead and talk and then I'll talk.
Well, when I moved to Lawrence, Kansas with your father,
Uh-huh.
then I got pregnant with you,
Uh-huh.
and you were due June the 7th.
Mhm.
And mother came out to Lawrence, Kansas to be with me, probably June 1st, I don't know exactly when. And she stayed there with me and you were born. And then Blanche drove out there. Aunt Irene from Tampa flew in to her bus or something into Lawrence, Kansas. And I think they stayed there maybe a week or a few days or something. What?
But I remember reading the letters.
Yeah.
That she wasn't feeling good during the time she was there.
I didn't realize that though. She never showed it.
Yeah, but she
I
wrote
did
in
not
the
know
letters
it.
to Blanche evidently.
Yeah, I did not know that
That's
at
all
all.
right.
Then when she got there with the car, they left and drove north and around and back to San Diego.
Uh-huh.
Then when you were about 6 weeks old, I guess it was,
Mhm.
mother had to go to the hospital.
Mhm.
She wasn't feeling well, and you tell them, because I wasn't there. What
Was
happened?
Nani there when Jackie was born?
I don't remember about Nani. Go ahead about mother.
But anyway, no, we, Mary, mother and I, we went back through, the park there in Los Angeles, California.
Yosemite.
We
Which
went
one?
back to San Diego.
Yosemite.
Yosemite. And they've got this high thing, no, Tahoe, Lake Tahoe. And from there, we went through the Tioga Pass, but a lake up there, and mother was sitting up there in the car. We were on our way home, and she started to vomit. So Aunt Irene said, well, we've got to get home, which we did. And she wanted, I don't think we had a chance to get the doctor the next day or two. Aunt Irene was a nurse. Anyway, and the next day or two, mother was in the bathroom in the room in the bedroom where we had a sink, and she was giving herself an enema. And Aunt Irene came in and she said, we got to take her to the hospital, so we did, and she was having a stroke. And she was unconscious for about 5 or 6 days before she died in National City.
Now, did Jackie and I get to San Diego before mother died?
No,
It
she
was after she died.
Oh, yes, Jackie, she died when Jackie was probably 2 weeks old.
Okay, well, I didn't know. I couldn't remember exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
she died
because you and I-
Jackie July, wait a minute. No, she was a little older than that. Mother died July 20th.
I was 6 weeks old, but I think Mom's asking, did her and I go back before she died or right after?
I don't remember when you came back.
Okay.
Well, I know they called me and said that mother was in the
You
hospital.
weren't there at the funeral.
So there, for you and I, you were only 6 weeks old, you and I flew back. I never will forget this little baby in my arms flying back to San Diego. I think mother died after we got there. I really do.
Okay.
Were you at the hospital?
Aunt Irene was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Aunt Irene helped take care of you,
Mm-hmm.
because I'd go to the hospital to see mother.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how long after that she died, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It may have been a week, it may have been 2 days.
Well, no, she didn't stay in the hospital a week or 2 days. Mother died at the hospital,
I know.
the
But it was-
20th of July.
Right. But she had been in the hospital for a few days beforehand.
I can't remember exactly, but I'd say 4 or 5 days, probably.
Right. And then how long did you stay?
But I don't recall
remember?
you being there.
We
Well, you were
stayed,
probably busy.
I don't know, we may have stayed 2 or 3 weeks
Uh-huh.
before you
And
and
Faye,
I.
and Faye was how old during this time? Faye was 15, 16?
Faye was born in 36, so what would that make her?
10 years old,
Is that all right?
Yeah, she was
10 or
about
11
10.
years old.
Oh.
So after your mother died, your father and you and Faye continued living in the house on 38th Street?
Yeah, and then Daddy got married.
How long after did he get married?
He got married in 1948,
Right away then.
not 48.
48.
Is that when he moved to Ramona?
Yeah, he married Bess and she sold her house and they moved to Ramona.
They had a turkey farm up in Ramona. They raised turkeys. And I remember later, Daddy telling us that you had to keep the turkeys quiet. You couldn't play, get a lot of noise or something, because that would rout them up and they would stampede and, kill each other. So they had to have sensors or something out there so he could listen to the turkeys. He had a turkey farm in Ramona.
Huh. And then after he and Bess got married, were you still living in the house on 38th Street? You and Faye?
Yeah, I'd gotten married and Faye was there. Yeah.
Okay, so you and Roy lived there and Faye lived with you?
2 months, yeah.
And then Faye got married? No, she was only 11 years old, 12 years old.
She got married, I can't remember the year, I'd have to check my book.
I don't know.
But she
I
lived-
Christine
but
was
Faye-
born not long after Darlene, in 53, I think Christine was born in 53.
So Faye lived with you and Roy all that time?
Oh, yeah.
So you were basically a mother to Faye?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
yes, I took care of Faye completely. Then when I moved to El Centro, we sold the house and moved to El Centro, I took Faye with me, and Keto helped take care of Christine, and Paul, the husband, was with us. They had a little apartment in the back of the house we rented,
Oh.
and I taught Faye how to teach dancing, so she worked at the studio.
See, they had keto at that time,
Oh.
so keto could
We
take care
got
of Faye.
Keto then, so she took care of Christine along with my 2 kids.
Mhm.
Anyway,
It was a long time ago.
Well, any other thoughts you want to add to this before I turn it off?
I can't think of
I
anything
can't
right
think